The firearm is the ultimate in self-defense protection, but there are times where you need a non-lethal option, whether it's because of firearm restrictions or it just doesn't warrant you shooting someone. We're going to take a look today at a non-lethal option. This is the Byrna HD, and to me this is one that gives you a lot more capability than, say, pepper spray, even a flashlight with a crenulated bezel, or a knife. One thing about this is you can get back to 60 feet. And that is really critical to get some distance between you and the attacker. What you're doing is you're giving yourself some time to get out of the area. Now the Byrna HD comes in a small little case like this. It's zippered, and you have foam padding. Also there is a little sleeve in the top here. You get the HD, which, you know, this comes in an FDE, but it also comes in black, it comes in an orange, also a white, and camouflage. So there's a number of different colors you can get. You get an extra 5-round magazine plus one in the pistol, 2 CO2 cartridges, and typically you would get 5 of the self-defense rounds, 5 inert rounds that are solid, and then 5 with powder for training. Now there are also different accessories that you can get. Now this one has the Crimson Trace laser, but you can get it without. Also there is a holster, and it is a nice little solid paddle type holster. And it does give you some retention, but yet it's easy to draw. And you can buy the extra rounds. These are inert powder rounds, but they have the actual OC rounds. They have the OC and PAVA rounds, and then they have just solid rounds. And you can get them in different configurations. But you can go to the Byrna website and check that out. And also they have a 10-pack of the 8-gram gas canisters or CO2 canisters. Now we took the Byrna HD down to the range. We just wanted to see how it would perform with your practice rounds, seeing what kind of accuracy we were getting, kind of some distance, and just seeing what this little guy would do. So is the Byrna HD effective? I think it's very effective. You know, if you get it in your eyes and your lungs, you're going to have a really bad day. Now I want to go over some of the features. It is a kind of a polymer finish, and then it has this rubber overmold right here around the grip, and so it gives you a good firm grip. You do have ambidextrous safety right here, and then of course you do have a Picatinny rail. You can actually fit a light on here if you don't want to use the laser. Has the magazine release right here, which is standard, and it just drops it free. Again, this is a 5-round magazine, and you have black raised sights on the front and back. And the mag release is right here, easy to get to, which is on most standard pistols. To load the magazine, we just enter the little ball, and there's a little arm that kind of pops up and holds it into place. And so we just easily put these rounds in. These are the inert rounds, so we're going to just show it without going into the standard OC gas or the OC powder. Then take and just insert it like you would a regular magazine. Now when you've done this, it immediately loads around right here, and you can tell because this is raised up just a little bit. There's no slide action, no way to pull the slide back. When you take the magazine out, right here you have this little push button, and if you'll watch, the round just pops right out. Now with the magazine loaded, go ahead and insert it into your grip. Right here at the front you're going to have a little hole, and on your magazine you're going to have a little Allen key. And so we're going to take this and just unscrew, and this is where your cylinder goes. And so everything is, even though you do have the tool on the end of the magazine, you have everything you need. And then you can just go ahead and twist this right out. Then take your CO2 cartridge and drop it in. Replace our plug back in. Now putting this plug in will not pierce the CO2 cartridge. You do that by actually pulling the trigger on the firearm. Once you get it to a certain place, go ahead and take your magazine and just tighten that down. So we've got it pretty tight, and yet the CO2 has not been punctured. Now you can leave it like this with the CO2 cartridge unpunctured, and you can store this indefinitely. Once you use the HD, you're going to need to replace the CO2. Now to puncture the CO2, all you need to do is put it on safe, pull the trigger, and then you're ready to go. But you can also just leave it as it is, and then as soon as you pull the trigger, even on fire, you're going to puncture your CO2 cartridge. Now guys, these do fire a 68 caliber round, and there are a number of different paintball and practice type 68 caliber ammunition out there, but sometimes they can get stuck. And so really for self-defense, even for practice, you need to go ahead and order it directly from Byrna. they're very careful to make sure that these are just perfect for the HD. Now the kit, as you see here, without the Crimson Trace laser, they start out at $349. And so from adding the Crimson Trace, adding extra magazines, things like that, I mean, you know, of course the price will go up. So check out the Byrna.com website. They do offer a number, again, of different type rounds, whether it's the self-defense rounds or practice rounds. I believe the magazines are like $20 for two. And so $10 a piece is a great price for these magazines. Then, of course, CO2 cartridges. They do recommend that you get those from Byrna, but they also say that these are not really standardized, that it's pretty much, this is the cartridge. But to me, if you're going to rely on something for self-defense, I think purchasing it directly from Byrna would be the best option. Now, if you've used the Byrna HD and you just want to remove the cartridge, just go ahead and drop your magazine. What we're going to do is just take and slowly open it up. And you're going to hear the gases. Just let it go ahead and release. Then you can go ahead and just open it up. There we go. Remove the cylinder, and if you want to, you can replace it or you can leave it as is. I personally recommend going ahead and putting a cylinder in and closing it up, and since you're not piercing the cylinder, it's going to always be ready to go again indefinitely. Now, it is a Picatinny rail and it can fit different accessories, and of course the Crimson Trace laser really works pretty well. But here we're just going to throw on a little PL Mini 2. It's right there where you need it, and that way you've got light. So just another option. Or you can just go plain Jane.